In today's video, we're going to cover 5 different keyboard cases for the 10.2-inch iPad, 7th generation, and the prices range from $35 up to $130, so I think we've got pretty much every budget covered. And I'll leave a link in the description below with current pricing and more information on each of these keyboards. So the first keyboard up is the cheapest at $35.99 on Amazon, and this is the HB245 from Artech. So this one doubles as a screen protector and viewing case. It uses a magnetic grip to secure the iPad. This is using a standard Mac format keyboard layout, and the nice thing about pretty much all of these keyboards is you can type without the on-screen keyboard getting in the way. This one does have the auto wake and sleep function, and it also has a 2-year warranty. So it takes about 2 hours to charge this one up to enjoy 100 hours of uninterrupted use. It's a Bluetooth keyboard, and this one comes with a micro USB charging cable. So it definitely looks like metal, but it's actually just plastic. And it's a really close match to the back of the iPad. Pretty good cutouts there on the side for the volume buttons as well, and of course the rear-facing camera. So you can see there's cutouts there along the top for the power button, microphones, and headphone jack. Same thing along the bottom for the speakers and charging port. You've got a little slider here on the side to turn on the keyboard, and right next to that is the charging port. And of course on the back, you've got to have the round cutout to let people know, yeah, this is an iPad. And it's got a pretty nice hinge here on the back with little rubber feet to keep it from moving. So it only goes back to a certain degree because otherwise it would be top heavy. So in order to pair this keyboard, first, obviously you turn on the power, and then you press function and delete at the same time until it starts blinking blue, and then you should be able to connect to it in your Bluetooth settings. And then you'll see Bluetooth 3.0 keyboard in your Bluetooth settings. And my first impressions of typing with this are really good. I like it so far. It's probably not as nice as my Microsoft keyboard that I use at work with my Surface Studio, but hey, for 35 bucks, yeah, this thing's really nice. It's also got some of your typical functions here along the top, such as screen brightness. You can bring up the on-screen keyboard. You've got a home button. The arrow buttons actually work pretty good as well if you're just scrolling through a website. It's really nice and smooth. And then if you want to scroll all the way to the top or to the bottom, you just hold function and up or down. You've also got a search button, and you can also do forwards and backwards using the function and left and right keys. You've also got your media controls and volume up and down. You also have a lock button, which is really nice. Now the keys themselves just have little stickers on them, so I'm not sure how long those are gonna last before they wear off. I gotta say, this thing looks really good in person, and it's really lightweight, so you don't have to worry about it being super heavy. And then to protect the face of your iPad, it does have little rubber nubs there on each corner. And this does have the sleep and wake function when you close and open it. I think as long as you're using this on a hard surface, I think it should be fine, but once you go to put this on your lap, to me it does feel a little bit top heavy, just something to keep in mind. Now this doesn't have a trackpad or backlit keys, but again, this is only $35, so yeah, this is probably one of the best $35 keyboard cases that I've seen so far. So this next one up was formerly known as Yekby, but their new name is Typecase. The cool thing about this one, it has 10 different colors for the backlit keys, and it also rotates 360 degrees. So this is the Flexbook 6-in-1 keyboard case. It's currently on sale for $75.99 on Amazon. And this one's probably going to give you the most flexibility out of all of these as far as what position you want the iPad to be in. So you can see here it is compatible with the 7th gen iPad, iPad Air 3, and iPad Pro 10.5 inch. They're calling this a 6-in-1 keyboard case because you can do a laptop mode, tent mode, share mode, where the screen rotates, protect mode, which is just closed, so I'm not sure how they consider that a mode, but okay. Tablet mode and stand mode. So it does come with a user manual. It also comes with little foam foot pads that you can use on the corner of the case. Micro USB charging with this one as well. So you can see here I chose the silver color, which is somewhat close to the silver color of my iPad. Okay, so that's definitely 360 degrees. So you've got openings for the headphone jack, microphones, and power button. And then you got a large opening there on the back for the rear facing camera. Pretty good size opening for the volume buttons. And I can see why they gave you those little foam pads, because to me it doesn't feel like it snaps in far enough into the case. So yeah, if you're gonna get this case, I would definitely add those little foam pads they gave you. You can see it's got a pretty good size hinge here right in the middle. The hinge definitely feels like it's nice and firm, like it really locks into place in this position. And then on the side is your power switch and micro USB charging port. And along the bottom you've got little rubber feet as well. So we should be able to just power this on, hold down pair for more than 2 seconds. And you should see Typecase Flexbook come up there. Okay, so far I definitely like the keys on this one. The white keys on silver actually looks really good in person as well. Up here in the corner you've got your Bluetooth indicator, battery indicator, and caps lock indicator. You can see depending on what position you have this in, it can be a little top heavy. And obviously that's something you're going to have to watch with all of these types of cases because the iPad is going to be heavier than the keyboard. Now along here on the top you've got a home button, screen brightness, media keys, your volume up and down. This one here is supposed to be for the on-screen keyboard, but I can't seem to get it to pop up. You've also got your button for colors, light, pairing button, then you've also got your delete and lock button. Down here along the bottom, you've got Control, Alt, or Option, and it's even got a command button. Then you can also use the arrows to page up and down when browsing online or looking at documents. Now for some reason I couldn't arrow up and down earlier, but now all of a sudden it is working. So I'm not really sure what I did there, but by holding command up and down, you can scroll all the way to the top or bottom, so that's nice. You can also do Option plus arrow up or down to control how bright the backlit keys are. You can also do Command Tab to switch between apps. It's also got the auto sleep and wake function. And it does have a nice little indent that makes it a little bit easier to open. So yeah, this one definitely gets extra points by having this crazy 360 degree hinge. But I don't know, I guess it's up to you if some of these extra features are worth $75 to you. But yeah, overall, this is definitely a pretty good keyboard case. The next case up is actually somewhat similar to the Flexbook by Typecase, except this one actually has a trackpad, but it also has a 360 degree rotating hinge, and the keys are backlit with several different colors to choose from. And I paid $60 for this one on Amazon. This one does come in different colors, but I've got the black version. This one is also micro USB charging. I was hoping USB-C, but I haven't found one yet. It's got a real soft touch material on it that gives you really good grip. And then the wrist rest is super shiny, except where the trackpad is. It's just a matte plastic material. And the hinge is a little bit easier to move around than the Flexbook as well. So on this one to pair, you just hit Function plus C on the keyboard. Yeah, the keys on this one are really good. Okay, so the keys on this one, they seem spaced a little bit further apart. The travel is really nice on these, and I actually like it better than, say, the Flexbook or the Artech. I'm not sure what it is, but the quality just seems really nice, and it just feels like a really good fit for my hands. Now, obviously, this has a hinge very similar to the Flexbook. It's not quite as tight, so it's easier to move around. Up here in the corner, you've got your power button. You got your indicator lights for charging, pairing, and caps lock. Along the top, you've got your home button, where if you tap it twice, it brings up all of your apps. You've got your screen brightness keys. If you hold Command and keyboard, it shows you a few different shortcuts, where Command and space is search, Command and H is go to home. You can switch apps by Command and tab, and then showing the dock. Then you've got your search. Then you've also got some media buttons, volume buttons, a dedicated mute button, and your lock button. Similar to the others, you can use your arrows to scroll up and down. If you're browsing online, you can also hit Command up to scroll all the way up, Command down to scroll all the way to the bottom. To turn pages in the Books app, you just hit arrow left and right. Now the good thing is this keyboard actually uses the arrows in the Bible app and the Books app, unlike the Flexbook. So far, yeah, I'm definitely liking this better than the Flexbook. So in order to use the touchpad or trackpad, you've got to go into accessibility. You've got to turn on the assistive touch, then turn off the on-screen keyboard and your mouse keys. So once you turn that on, you should be able to use your touchpad. Then the left button is a single click. To use the scroll wheel, you just use 2 fingers. 3 fingers is the middle button. 2 fingers is right click. You can just use 1 finger and drag around just like a normal trackpad. And then you can pop up or hide the dock by using 3 fingers to slide up. And then you can switch the recently opened apps by 3 fingers sliding down from the upper edge. So this works pretty much like a trackpad. The only thing that seems a little tricky is to scroll. It says to use 2 fingers, but I don't know, I don't actually see it doing anything. Once you're in the settings menu, it actually does scroll with 2 fingers. I may have to look into that later because everything else on this is really nice. And then to make this case a little bit easier to open, they do have a little cutout there on the front. And this does have the auto wake and sleep function. And then you get a few different colors to choose from for the backlit keys. Okay, so yeah, if I was going to choose between this one and the Flexbook, I'd probably go with this one just because of the touchpad. But I don't know, both are really good keyboards. I just think the keys on this one are a little bit better. The next keyboard case up by Greenlaw. I'm not really sure considering there's nothing on the box. Well, let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got. This one comes with a little foot pad, user manual, and you guessed it, micro USB charging cable. This one's got a real nice matte texture on it. Apparently there's other colors available for this one, but I only saw the black one when I was ordering. Maybe I just overlooked the others. Now this one does have backlit keys. It's compatible with not only the 10.2 inch iPad, but the iPad Pro 10.5 and iPad Air 10.5. And this one actually has 7 different colors for the backlit keys. Battery life on this one is about 120 days on one charge, and this one's currently $67 on Amazon. This one is a little bit different texture than the others. Yes, it's pretty much plastic, except the hinge on the back. You can see it only folds back so far. Let's face it, you fold it too far and it's going to be top heavy. Wow, this is one tight fit. On the edge here is where it snaps into the hinge, making this one detachable. And it snaps right in fairly easily. All the cutouts for the ports definitely look good, which gives you easy access to the volume buttons, power button, headphone jack, the charging port on the bottom, plus you don't have to worry about the speakers or microphones being covered. The 10.2-inch iPad isn't light to begin with, so obviously adding any of these cases is going to add a little bit more weight, but I'd say this one isn't bad. I mean, it feels acceptable. You've also got these little rubber feet here on the bottom. You've also got a loop there on the end. That's sort of a leather-like material for an Apple Pencil. So here's what I meant earlier, where you can't really make this go back any further, or it's going to be top heavy. Similar to the others, there on the side is your power button for the keyboard and charging port. To pair this one, you just turn it on and then hold down function and delete at the same time. And then you'll see a blue light flashing down here in the corner. Then you should see Bluetooth 3.0 keyboard pop up. You don't get a trackpad with this one, but you do get backlit keys. Okay, so the keyboard on this one actually seems really nice. Spacing of the keys seem to be just about right. The key travel when pressing them down feels pretty good to me as well. Definitely feels like I'm using, any other laptop. I think one advantage that you're gonna have with this over maybe some of the others is that this part is detachable, where the other ones are a little bit trickier to get the iPad in and out of the case because it fits so tight. So that's something you'll definitely want to keep in mind. Along the top, you've got a home button, screen brightness, you've got your microphone or Siri button, a screen capture button, which some of the others don't seem to have, your search, on-screen keyboard. I don't know, that seems to work on some of these, but then not on others. I'm not sure why. Then you get your media keys, volume up and down, mute, you've got a lock button, and then of course delete. Looks like the arrows on this one work really good, whether you're using the Books app, the Bible app, or just browsing online. Similar to the others, you hit Command and then arrow up or down to go all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top. So you can change the colors in 3 different zones on this keyboard. You've got a left zone, middle zone, and right zone. So there'll be a ton of different possibilities when it comes to what color you want your keys to be. This one doesn't seem to be quite as bright as some of the others, but still pretty decent in person. This one already does have little rubber spots here to protect the screen of your iPad. So I think overall this is a really nice keyboard case, especially if you want one that is detachable, which uses a really strong magnet. So the last case we're going to take a look at is the most expensive case out of all these at $129 on Amazon. And this one is by Bridge. And it comes in 3 different colors: silver, which is the one we have here, gold, and space gray. This one does have adjustable backlit keys, and it's made of an aluminum material, which is probably one of the reasons why this one's a little more expensive. You get up to a 12-month battery life, which is really good. This one connects through Bluetooth, just like the others, and this case allows for a 180-degree viewing angle. And supposedly this one is scratch resistant. Something to keep in mind with the most expensive case here is it's just the keyboard and it's not actually covering your iPad, which means if you drop this thing, I'm not too sure about durability on this one. Okay, so this is kind of nice. They give you a quick start guide sort of right inside the box. Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely aluminum. Unfortunately, this one is micro USB still, but at least it's a flat cable. And you get a user manual, and it looks like you get a Bridge sticker. So you can see on each side they've got these little clips which are made of aluminum, and then it's got a rubber grip there on the inside. That's probably hard to tell on camera, but the metal material is just a little bit different than the iPad itself, but I don't think most people are going to notice. Now obviously, because this is made of aluminum instead of plastic, it almost feels like it doubles the weight of your iPad, but it looks really sharp. You can see they at least put little rubber pads here at the end, so at least your iPad isn't hitting against the aluminum keyboard. And this does have the auto sleep and wake function. Now, if you remember how I said earlier, a lot of these are top heavy. Well, you definitely don't have to worry about this being top heavy, since the keyboard is basically the same weight as the iPad. And to pair this, you should be able to just hold down the Bluetooth button. Bridge 10.2 comes right up. Just like some of the other keyboard cases here, you've got a home button, lock button, backlight button, which doesn't appear to be as bright as some of the others, screen brightness, on-display keyboard, then you got your media controls, volume buttons, although I don't see a mute, and then you got your battery, pairing, and power. And then down in the corner, you've got your microphone or Siri button. Okay, now let me show you real quick how bright the backlit keys are. Okay, so maybe not quite as bright as some of the others. Okay, so that actually looks really good in person. You don't get to change colors, but whatever, I guess that's not really necessary. If you're reading books, you can use arrows to go through that. Alright, so this one doesn't really seem to work in the Bible app. See, I don't get how some of them work in the Bible app and then some don't. Command tab switches between apps, which is what you would expect. And then to scroll up and down, you can use the arrows for that as well. All the way to the top or all the way to the bottom with command, that works pretty good. Underneath, this has some pretty good sized rubber feet. And then you've got the charging port there on the side. Build quality on this one is really good. Okay, so yeah, typing on this one is really good, as expected. It's got a really nice layout where there's plenty of space for your fingers to be typing. Definitely doesn't feel cramped. The travel on the keys feel really nice as well, which I would hope so for 130 bucks. I guess my only question is, does the keyboard on this feel like twice as much as some of the others? I don't know about that. I know it does feel really nice. That's a tough one for me. So yeah, this is a really good keyboard for the iPad. However, at 130 bucks, the fact that it doesn't protect the iPad whatsoever, I think that possibly could be one of the biggest downsides to this keyboard. But overall, yeah, this one's really good. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.